What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. We are here for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary live show. Thank y'all so much for being here. I am your host, JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries. I'm so glad all of you decided to spend your 8 hour of this Thursday here with moi and soon to be Genesita, my sister. She'll be joining us momentarily. A couple things of what you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the topics that we're discussing on tonight. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Quick announcement. I released my review for RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10, Episode 7. I released that, I believe it was this past Sunday. Either Sunday, no. I think it was Tuesday. Anyways, whenever I released it, go on ahead and watch that thing. I didn't do a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta because there really wasn't much happening. They were doing the job thing in Grenada. I think that's where they were. So not much happened on the episode, so that's why I decided not to do a review for the show. But it seems like something will be coming up in the next episode, so I will definitely be sure to put out a video for the next episode as a review. As usual, I always like to give my condolences. First off, so Food Network celebrity chef Anne Burrell has passed away in New York. She passed away, I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, her cause of death has not been released as of yet, but she was the host of Worst Chef in America, I believe was the name of the show. She's also been on plenty of episodes of Chopped as an all-star. When they have celebrity chefs doing those tournaments and things like that. She's been in a couple of those, and I believe she won one or two of those. And so that was a shocking death to me. I just did not expect to see that coming. I really hadn't paid, that much attention to her specifically. However, any death is always going to be a tragedy. So my condolences and my heart goes out to her family, friends, and loved ones, all of those who loved watching her on TV. I'm so grateful that we have media so that we can look back on those who have passed and see their great work and all that they've done and what they've left us with. And so all those who are grieving her loss, my heart and my prayers are with all of you. This past week, or was it what was it this past week? No, it was last Saturday. There was the No Kings protest. There were protests where thousands protested all around the country in so many cities. I don't even remember how many cities these protests were happening in, but there were quite a few that are protesting all of these ICE raids. As well as a lot of the policies that our current President Trump is putting out there, making it harder for everyone. So I'm so glad that America is coming together. I'm so glad that America is making a stance. I'm so glad that America is raising their voice in protest to all the things that are going wrong. It wouldn't surprise me if some of those protesters were people that actually voted for him in this past election cycle. However, there's nothing that they can do about it. Well, I won't say that there's nothing that they can do about it. There's nothing that they can do about the fact that he's going to be in office for the next 3 years. However, I'm glad that they're at least, raising their voices and, bringing attention to the terrible things that is going on with that. Jennifer has joined us with our high ponytail. I love me a high ponytail, child. What's going on, Genesita?
Hello. I am doing well. Happy Juneteenth to all.
I can't believe I forgot to say that. Happy Juneteenth to everybody. Happy Juneteenth to everybody. It's a
We free.
celebration. We celebrate our freedoms. We celebrate our freedom today, honey.
Yeah. What a day and how it has all culminated. I will have to say I did send you a wonderful video, Jonathan, talking about the history of of the oh gosh, the riverboat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that like maybe about an hour ago. Yeah. My mama had her eyelashes and her nails, child. She was telling the story, honey. Okay.
And she told the story like mother would.
Exactly. When that man jumped in the water, they couldn't get they couldn't move the boat because they was gonna hit the man. And so, we as a people, we had to jump it like, yes, it was all that.
Oh gosh, Miss Kim said we're free-ish.
Yes.
Okay,
There's a
let's say
line
freer than
in
before.
There's a line in the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue that's available on Amazon Prime, where the president's son he falls in love with the Prince of England, and his friend Nora is being hit on by one of the Prince of England's best friends, and he wants to buy her a drink, and she said, "Well, it is an open bar in a free-ish country, so why don't you go to do that?" And that movie came out, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, we understand where we stand for sure.
okay. Yeah, progress, I guess.
I
Um,
guess.
Dustin says hello.
Hey, Dustin. So glad you're here.
Um, Miss Robin says hello, Auntie Robin.
Hello, Auntie Robin, and thank you for using Joe Nathan. I don't think I haven't noticed that, girl. I appreciate it. I really do.
Miss Kim made sure to say happy Juneteenth. And oh, excuse me. Hi, Miss Kim.
Greetings and salutations, Miss Kim, and hey,
Uh,
Bianca.
Bianca is here. Hello, Bianca. God bless you. I pray all is well. Miss Kim says, rest in peace to Amberell.
Yeah,
Rest in peace. Um, Miss Kim says hello to Miss Kim. Robin says hello to Miss Kim and Bianca. And she says, good evening, Genesita. God bless you.
absolutely.
Um, and Miss Kim, like I said, she said we're free-ish. Miss Tammy is here. She says, happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to you too.
Hello, Tammy. So glad you're here, my love.
And Miss Kim says, post it in Discord, please. Okay. I'll do that while Jonathan talking and I'm not paying attention.
Sure.
And and Miss Tammy says, did my opals run for freedom this morning? Come on.
Okay.
Yes. Our newly elected racist governor took this federal holiday from the state workers today.
Wow.
They did not get the day off.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Thank you for
Wow.
letting us know. Bianca says hello to Miss Kim, Miss Tammy, as well as Miss Robin and Dustin.
So also last week, Kendrick Lamar had, I believe it was two shows in Toronto. Uh it was a great thing going on. I love that, Kendrick has backup dancers because it's not often that you see rappers on tour with backup dancers. So I love that he's keeping like his Super Bowl thing kind of going. I'm not sure exactly how long he's had backup dancers during his concerts, but I love seeing that. After Not Like Us was played, the crowd kept chanting one more time. It was great. Drake got upset at a Canadian senator or something of that nature, someone in power, for going to the show. The senator had to reply and said, I went there to see SZA. I didn't go there to see Kendrick, but Drake put us on the map, and he brought more eyes towards Canada. So he was doing doing a little bit of damage control
Did
there.
you
But
see the camera? Did you see the footage of him up in there?
no, I didn't see that.
Child, he was getting his life today, not like us.
Oh no.
He was coming to see SZA, honey.
Child. But yeah, anyways, and did you have any reaction to the protest that went on, the No Kings protest that happened this past Saturday? Because we don't have to get into that whole military
Oh, no
thing
need.
for Trump's birthday.
The foolishness. I do think that it was really wonderful to see the white people and all other races come together and do the things in droves. Finally, enough people got mad enough to have them come together. Everybody come together, and I'm excited that we were able to cheer from our seats. So I think it was. I think it was really nice, really nice. Miss Kim says, I think FOTUS is going to rescind Juneteenth.
Probably will. It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
To be honest, I think with all the stuff going on in the world, I think it might have taken his mind off of it a little bit because it's just too much going on right
And
now.
and I don't know if he can afford to do that because I believe a lot of his supporters would not like him doing that. I won't say most of his supporters, but I think a good number of his supporters wouldn't really like him doing that. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I personally believe that I don't think I think he might not do it because of the stuff that they tried to do to incite foolishness from the African American community, all the way
Yeah.
down to segregation, and we didn't do nothing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I hey, we'll see though. You know, it is
Right.
what it
But
is.
let's get to the hottest topic of this week, child. The hottest topic of this week that took me by surprise, but I can't say that I'm surprised to see it though. Like I was surprised that it came out, but I wasn't surprised that it happened. So Tyler Perry is being sued by the Oval actor Derek Dixon for $260 million over workplace SA allegations. Perry's attorney calls it a scam. And TMZ and the Shade Room has released text messages between the two, quite a few pages of text messages. I've read all the ones that were on the Shade Room, and
I did.
judging from the text messages, it seemed like they had a friendly rapport with one another. Um, Tyler Perry always recognized Derek as his friend. I want you to be my friend. Now, in the actual lawsuit itself, Derek tells the story of him being at Tyler's house and him. I believe for some reason he did not want to drive home, and so Tyler, allowed him to stay in an extra room um, in his house, and unfortunately, Derek didn't have any clothes with him because he didn't plan on staying the night, and so he was only in his underwear. Tyler Perry allegedly came into the room, got into the bed with him, started groping him, things of that nature.
Mhm.
He said that they were both drunk, so he didn't think. I won't say he didn't think much of it, but the day after, Tyler profusely apologized to him. I'm not sure if these text messages happened before or after that particular incident. However, in these text messages, it is clear that Tyler Perry is at the least same sex attracted, because I saw in those text messages that, one of the text messages, Derek was like, oh, he's going to Chipotle. And Tyler called him Thick Derek. And heterosexual men typically don't say that to another man. So I would go ahead, Jennifer.
You were under the impression he was heterosexual?
No, I was not. No,
Oh, okay.
no.
I'm trying to.
Let's just I'm just making making a point here. I'm just putting it out there that it's clear that this was kind of flirty text messages. Like Tyler Perry was quite flirtatious with Derek in these text messages. Derek wanted to get a show of his to get greenlit by a network. Tyler said he wanted to, do his best to try to help him out. He said he, complimented Derek on his voice, and like it was real flirtatious, like very flirtatious. And here's my thing. I don't know that I completely believe the stories of the groping and the actual. I believe I can say harassment. The actual harassment that was going on. However, I do think that it may add validity to the story that Christian Keys was telling about a year ago, where he was saying, a blind item, where there is a very wealthy, influential man in the industry who likes to touch on men. And, it would not have surprised me if Tyler Perry was touching up on Christian Keys. Christian Keys is a fine man. And, when you have a man in power, he may feel as though he has the right to do whatever it is that he wants to do. However, I don't know. I don't know where I stand with this, because the thing is, just like with the Diddy trial, with defense lawyers asking Mia and other witnesses, why did you continue this relationship with them if they were advancing towards you, and you did not want this type of advancement? And when you're in that type of situation, when you're in a situation with a powerful person, and that they can probably get you somewhere, I feel as though Derek was just playing the game all along the way. Now, he was telling Tyler that he was not a sexual person. I'm not sure what he meant by he's not a sexual person. He's a very attractive man. That's not to say that all attractive people are sexually active. I'm just saying I feel as though he was saying that to Tyler to let him know that he was not interested in him in a sexual manner. So that's just my thing on it. It would not surprise me if Derek was just trying to get money because, maybe his show didn't get greenlit, or maybe he didn't want to get what he wanted to get out of this friendship with Tyler. However, I, I, I I don't know. Like, I'm on the fence with this, like, because it's like it wouldn't surprise me if he did it, but at the same time, it's like for some part of me just doesn't want to believe that he did it. I don't know why that is. I'm really confused about that because I've pretty much always thought that Tyler was same gender attracted person. I'm not sure if he's bisexual. I'm not sure if his actual sexuality, but I've always felt like he was attracted to the same gender. However, I feel as though Derek might be taking advantage of the information that he had, understanding the text messages that he had, maybe trying to set him up, maybe trying to scam him. I don't know. I don't know. Now there are some rumors that, this is a plot by someone to try to bring Tyler Perry down because of the things that because of the art that he's been releasing, things of that nature. And I don't believe in any of that whatsoever. I just think that this man is trying to get his money at the end of the day, because you played along, like you played the game, like, you did what you thought you were supposed to do. And I feel as though this is just a petty, it might be a petty type thing where he's just trying to get a paycheck. Might be. That's not to say that he's a liar. I'm not saying that he's a liar. It's just, it's hard for me to believe that these allegations are true. And it's so much harder to believe people when they continue going back to the person. Like when we got these text messages, like, yes, you released the text messages, but you were complicit in these text messages. You weren't telling Tyler to back off. You weren't telling Tyler to stop texting you. You weren't. So, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence with this. Jennifer, what were your thoughts on this case? Because I'm surprised that we haven't talked about it up until now.
It's because I don't like it.
Oh, and why is that?
Because it's apparent he's not just trying to get a paycheck, he's trying to get set up for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't like it from the beginning, but once those text messages came out, I was like,
nigga, please.
so you don't have anything like, why did you do that to me yesterday? I really felt uncomfortable. Wouldn't you think? But no, he said what he needed to say to keep up rapport with the man.
Exactly.
So, let me go to these comments because I like the way Miss Kim be saying things. But first, Tammy says, Opal, the grandmother of the holiday who got it put into federal law, says he can't take it away with an executive order. One of the reasons so many more did the walk this year. Amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much for that information, Miss Tammy.
Appreciate that. Miss Kim says, if you're deep in the closet and notoriously private about your personal life, why are you engaging in text messages with any man that can potentially be used to expose you? TP should have been a lot smarter, and I should be a lot smarter. And I really agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I right before sitting down to turn on his camera, I saw something where a lady was saying something to that effect, and she was saying you shouldn't be doing that to these white men. They're trying to take you for everything you got. You should have found a black man that looked good enough that's going to keep his mouth shut and enjoy his time with you. And I personally, I'm not saying that there's no way that could have happened, what he's saying, but what you're giving us is looking real empty for me. It's feeling really empty. But just like both sides, if it happened, I hate that you felt that way. But why didn't you try to address it with them through the text message? Because that would have been something that it would have been nice to see that you addressed that, like, what happened here and what you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like I said, I feel like all he did was just say what he needed to say to stay in communication and in a relationship with that man. So, I it feels really it doesn't feel heavy like all the other allegations I've heard from other people. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like somebody's just trying to get their time, their moment on the wings of some real allegations.
Right. Because what Christian Keys said to me was heavy. Like
Yeah.
you could tell he was affected by what had happened
And
to
though
him.
a lot of people were thinking that it was, Tyler Perry, he was actually referring to somebody else.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
From the It's unfortunate that he was giving out, like, clues or whatever,
Hmm.
but he mentioned how that person basically paid for a lot of, college graduates, loans and stuff like that, and that recently happened with this other I forget his name, but, yeah, it was another man. It wasn't
Okay.
Tyler.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
So
because I actually heard that Christian Keys was named in the lawsuit itself.
mhm,
So it's that's the only reason why I made that
but
connection.
but if that's the case, what time frame was this then?
Right. It's kind of all over the place.
But I'm willing to continue to look at what's there. Of course, I am very biased. I love Tyler Perry with all of my being. So, yeah, but I'm open to see what they're saying, but yeah, I don't see it for the man. Dustin made sure to say rest in peace. Mamir's here. Hey, Mamir.
Hey,
God bless
Mamir.
you. Bianca says, I agree, Miss Kim. If this happened to any of us at work, we'd say that it was inappropriate. Now, I do agree with that. But once
Hmm.
again, he was carrying on the conversation. It's like, if he was saying, "All right, Mr. Perry, could you kindly stop talking to me like this?" You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right, because you didn't mind him flirting with you all up in and through them text messages. You didn't say stop it with that, stop it
All
with that
right now.
flirtation shit. Like, that
Don't
ain't
you send
me.
me not
That ain't
another
us.
picture now. That's enough.
No, wait,
This ain't what you want it to be.
Tyler texted him a picture of him standing next to a rave runner. He said, "What'd you think of this picture?" He said, "Oh, that's a nice picture." Tyler said, "It's a nice picture." He said, "Oh, it's a great, amazing picture." He said, "You don't see that stud standing next to that wave runner?" Come on, like it's like
But
you would
he
think
did.
that Tyler would know better
But that Caucasian fellow, he didn't do a good job of playing it up like he needed to play it up if he wanted to play it up. He didn't do a good job.
because I think we know how to play it up. Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say. If you wanna play the game, play the game.
Play that because I'm thinking like if that's me, like you ain't never got to worry about me suing you for shit. Okay, like I you got to use what you got to get what you want, honey. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but you can't come off like some petty scorned person who didn't get what you wanted out of the whole situationship. Like it sounded so petty to me. It's
All
like
of it.
I hope that Tyler doesn't settle because those text messages really don't prove anything concerning
And
his lawsuit at all.
we need to I feel like once again, I'm open to hear whatever else, he's trying to say. Amir made sure to say happy Thursday to you. Bianca, Miss Kim says, "I don't know anything about TP. I don't know if he's gay or not." Okay, let's be real.
Right.
If he's gay, nobody cares.
Exactly.
If he's harassing anyone, he needs to face the consequences for his action, and I
Right.
agree with those same
Absolutely.
sentiments, okay? But you gotta it can't just be your word. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
need some more.
But the thing is, to me, Tyler Perry doesn't seem like the type that would do that. At least not to me. I wouldn't expect him to be one of those types of guys. Like just me personally, from what I've seen,
From what we've seen, yeah.
I wouldn't expect for him to be that type of man. Like that he doesn't strike me as that type at all.
He doesn't give predator to me.
No, 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 no. And I feel as though if that were the case, we would have heard something way before now. Way before now. Like, yes, Tyler Perry does have the means to pay people off if he needs to do so. Okay, that is a
But the
possibility,
time
but
during the bulk of the rumors that came out, that was before he was in the millions.
that's true. That's very true.
Child. Mimir says, "Exactly, Miss Kim." And Robin says, "JoJo speaks. Was this gay baiting?"
I won't say it's gay baiting because Tyler's words were obvious. Like anyone who read those text messages would see would see that that's possibly the way that he swings. Gay baiting is more alluring. It's there's more questions around gay baiting. Now some would say gay baiting could be more obvious. I don't. I wouldn't necessarily categorize this as gay baiting myself. Jennifer, what are your thoughts?
What about the person that's accusing him? Was he gay baiting? That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, because when you acquiesce to someone's advances in text messages and not telling them, okay, stop, I don't do that gay shit.
If you don't want
Like
it.
you know when you're engaging in those conversations. Now he didn't say anything like flirtatious towards Tyler Perry per se in those text
He
messages,
entertained his conversation.
but he continued the conversation. And so yes, in that case, Auntie Robin, absolutely, I do think Derek was gay baiting in the fact that he did not stop the flirtatiousness of the text messages. He didn't ask Tyler to no homo over here, not be put a pause on that text, you know what I'm saying, because that ain't the way that I rolled. No, he continued to engage with him in these text messages. That makes me believe more than likely that Tyler Perry is not one of those people and may not have done those things that he's alleging that he did to him.
Robert says, "Jen, you're referring to my classmate Robert F. Smith. No way, no how." Oh no. Just like I don't know if it was Tyler. So the man didn't say any names. Um, but I kind of think that was kind of like a band move from Christian Keys. Something
Why you
tells
say
me,
that?
huh? Because it feels like he was trying to get some money out of something. So you act as if you're going to talk about things but never drop a name to
Mm.
try to get money. But yeah. All right, I'm done.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. All right, cool. So Jennifer sent me some oh, you want to read that comment, Jennifer?
Oh, Robert said, "That's what I meant. The accuser is he gay baiting." Yes, I feel that way.
Yes, absolutely, Auntie Robin. So Jennifer sent me some text messages concerning this new show on Bravo, Gen Z, in New York. Some new show on Bravo with young people who are living in New York. Some of them are children of housewives, people on the housewife shows. Some are other people. I really don't know the cast myself. I personally had no interest in watching the show mainly because Kim Zolciak's daughter was going to be on there. I've never
Child, from
had
what I seen, it looked like she got some sense.
it does, and she all and mommy also told me that she's been saying that Kim has been trying to take her money from her and possibly
Not
stealing money.
trying.
Well, has been taking money from her. Yeah, and also Riley Burris, Katie Burris's daughter, is on the show as well. She, along with Dame Dash's daughter, are two of the only people of color on the show, to my knowledge. Don't take that to the bank and go running and say, "Oh, Jonathan said that they were the." That's all that I know so far. I have not
What's
watched that one single episode of the show. Go
It's
ahead,
another
Jennifer.
one.
Oh, okay, cool
Dame
beans.
Dash daughter.
Yeah, that did I. What did I just say?
I thought you said you thought it was the only one.
No. I said
Excuse me.
along with Riley, Dame Dash's daughter. They
You
those
know
two are
what?
the
Imma
only
shut up.
people. It's okay. It's totally fine. We all on the same page here. They seem to be the only people of color on the show, and so there was this incident with another friend of the show. I don't believe he's even a cast member,
Yes.
but oh, he is a cast member.
Mhm.
Okay, so this man named Charlie Zukor. This man named Charlie Zukor. So he seems like he might be part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I believe he's a friend of
I don't he's a straight man that is 29 hanging around these 20, 22, 24-year-olds.
oh, okay, cool beans. So He's a friend of another cast member on the show who is a son of someone from Housewives of Salt Lake City. I can't remember what his name is, or the name of his mother. But anyway, so there was this incident that happened. There was this incident that happened where they were at this club or some type of establishment, and some of Charlie's friends came up to talk to him. Riley was apparently standing right there. They said nothing to her, and Riley had an issue with this, and so when Charlie was, retelling the story, he was moving his neck and moving his finger, and Riley had an issue with this, of course, absolutely, as any black woman would, or black man, however it is that you want to put it. And Charlie apologized to her, but then he went to another friend and said, "Oh, I didn't mean that apology." Go ahead, Jennifer.
So the story is when they were at this, location or whatever, um, Charlie's friends basically paid Riley dust, okay?
Right,
The
didn't talk
black
to her.
girl in the room. And what Riley did was say, "Hi, I'm Riley. What's your name?" Just blew right past me. What's your name? And just really just matter of fact, "Hey, how you doing? You ain't say nothing to me." And the way that Charlie went through the process of telling the story to everybody else, he made it seem as if um, she was snapping.
Aggressive.
Yeah, like she was snapping her fingers, doing all of this and doing all her necking like that. She made it seem like that. And if y'all see Riley on TV, she's not that girl
At all.
in the slightest. Maybe it's because she's from Georgia. Maybe it's because she's a taller black woman. Maybe it's because she has her natural hair out. I don't know. But what she gave, it was not aggressive.
Well,
She was
maybe
just being
because he has
straightforward.
good parents. Maybe she has parents that taught her some sense. Maybe that's the case.
Well, Charlie, his parents are terrible, which is why he act that way. Look, we may need to actually watch this because I want you to see the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
Because let me tell you something. You'll see why some people were saying that they felt sorry for him because of how his parents acted, but then he continued to show how much of an a-hole he is,
Right.
and then he's a 29-year-old acting like this. Now, I don't expect, everybody of the Caucasian diaspora to understand microaggressions and how they affect people,
Hmm.
but when somebody says, "This hurt me,"
Hmm.
take a step back and say, "I'm sorry." But go
Right.
ahead and shut up now.
Of course. No, no, no. You were adding stuff that I was leaving out. So I appreciate you filling in the gaps. But Riley ended up calling her mother, and of course her mother gave her some words of encouragement. I love their relationship. I love the fact that she can pick up the phone, call her mom. And of course her mom is like, you're one of the only black people that is amongst all of these other white folk. And so girl, don't pay them no mind. If they ain't pay your bills, like RuPaul said, pay them bitches no mind whatsoever. Um, I told mommy because mommy's been watching the show.
Oh,
And
she
so
is.
yes, she has. And so I told her, like, this kind of stuff, like, really, really gets on my last good nerve, y'all, because when people of the white persuasion refuse to educate themselves. Riley was willing to educate this man on how he can do better. When people refuse to educate themselves and like to continue in their idiocy, however, in them being
Ignorance.
complete idiots, in their ignorance. Thank you so much for that. Um, I can't stomach it. Like it's so cringy for me, like cringy on the highest level and the highest degree. And I don't want to watch a show where I have to see Riley continuously having to stand up for herself. And to me, it does seem like she fits in this group, but at the same time, she's still at the end of the day, just based on her skin color alone and her hair, she is clearly an oddball, or seems to be an oddball in this group of people. She just sticks out. And it I'm
And I
I
think this is why it would benefit you to watch the show.
okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and do it too. Though I've
Okay.
seen a whole heap of clips.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. I do like how, Kim Zolciak's daughter and Riley came together, and talks and just made sure that their stuff was their stuff.
Hmm.
So it was really nice to see them come together. But this is a journey, I feel, for Riley, being in these Caucasian spaces.
Right,
How do I operate in these spaces? Thank God she got her stepsister. You know what I'm saying?
right.
At least, she still has, people that can hold her down and good people around her in my opinion. So I think she's going to be fine. I love that she's not letting people walk all over her though and just
That's
let
true.
those
Very true.
microaggressions happen. No, it's going to be addressed whether I'm crying or not. You're about to find out. And once again, I love how Candy built her daughter up and
Hmm.
said, if this is going to be the first time these people are around a black woman, then so be it. If this is going to be their first time hearing about this, then so be it. They about to find out today.
Right.
So,
And
I'm ready to watch her create boundaries.
absolutely. And there was another scene where one of the other cast members was in the bathroom with her, and her cast member did not want to wash her hands. And she said, well, me growing up, I just never really washed my hands after going to the bathroom. Then, when the young lady was about to leave, she went to hug Riley, and Riley was like, don't be touching me with your, I just, use the bathroom and didn't wash my hands, child. And of course, the young lady, she seemed as though she was a little offended by that, but
A
like
little.
could you not understand her reasoning why she did not want you to touch her? Like, but
Child,
apparently she didn't.
apparently not because she was like, "It's my body, it's what I can do with it." But girl, you
But
ain't
this
gonna
is
touch me
my
with what you decide
body,
not to do with my body.
and what you won't be doing is touching my body, okay?
Nasty. And then how about earlier in that day, she touched the bottom of the shoe. They in New
Someone's
York.
shoe. And didn't she
Ooh,
like touch her
she
face right
touched her,
after?
she touched her eyeball right after she touched the bottom of somebody's shoe. She could have E. coli. She can have so many things because it is New York. I'm not saying that all New York is dirty, but there's pee pee and poo poo everywhere and stuff like that. And there's things that you might not want to have on any ground
Okay,
touching your hand, much less your eyeball.
from people, rats, pigeons, cockroaches, everything on
Everybody
the grounds
pooping.
up there.
Everybody
Child,
pooping. That was,
it,
that was oof.
child. Any comments for that particular segment,
Child.
Jennifer?
Yeah, Miss Kim says I have exes that text me flirty and sexual messages. Seriously? I shut them down immediately. I don't engage or entertain their foolishness. Thank you. That's wonderful. Miss Kim says growing up being in predominantly white spaces is exhausting, and we can see it all over Raleigh sometimes. As an
Absolutely.
adult, I refuse to be the only raisin in the in the bowl of milk. Agreed. Miss Robin
Hmm.
says the boy's name is Brooks, and his mom is
Brooks, thank
Meredith.
you.
His mother is Meredith on Salt Lake City.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
that, Auntie Robin slash HR.
And Bianca says this wasn't their first time doing her like this either. Yeah, yeah. But the only thing that redeems it for me, and it makes me feel like maybe I can watch this, is that she's not swinging by herself.
Right. She has support.
Yeah, she has people to be like, "That's crazy. Why are you doing that?" Or like with the whole hand washing thing. I think maybe I'm gonna have to look at it again, but maybe old girl took it for what it is as a boundary because that is disgusting. And
Right.
then Charlie backed her up. He said, "I use the restroom." He said, "When I pee, I don't wash my hands. My penis is perfectly clean." If you
Charlie
don't
said
wash
that,
your
didn't he?
hands,
Yeah.
what makes you think you wa what make me think you wash the rest of your body?
Agreed. Agreed.
Uh,
Anyways,
wait, hold up. Mamir says, "I saw that and was hoping being gross is it the new hip trend." No, she's just nasty.
yeah.
She's just nasty.
Carter said, "This song, my nasty hoes, my nasty hoes." That Bigot Head song is my jam. Like, oh, child. Anyways, so Cam Newton had a show on his show. I guess it's a
Had an
podcast.
episode.
Had an episode with K Michelle, and they were discussing the broken Black family. Um, broken black homes in the black community, broken homes in the black community. And he ends up saying, I never wanted to create this type of environment for my children. That's just the way it ended up happening. K Michelle, did she hold his feet to the fire? Sort of, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because she really could have gone in on that man and say, do you hear what you just said? Because your statement makes zero to no sense, actually negative sense, because you were consistently getting these women pregnant. I don't know exactly how many children he has. I know it's at least 4 or 5. But you're consistently doing these things with different women, causing them to have children. But yet you say at the same time, I still feel as though a family should be a man and a woman with the child. I don't know if that was, somewhat homophobic. I don't know if there was any of that in that,
I
but
don't
I
think
understand why he would have said that.
yeah, because he's
Um,
looking at himself.
exactly, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? But of course, me as a gay man, I'm always looking out for that type of stuff. And don't get me wrong. I love seeing Cam Newton in his shorts when he was doing that interview with Jamal Bryant. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing the legs, honey. But at the same time, we have to call a thing, and facts are facts. Much like Mohart says from RuPaul's Drag Race. Cam, I would like for you to choose your words more wisely going forward, because you made yourself sound like someone who's not that smart. Because once again, your actions are not matching up with your words. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe he does have another child on the way. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you revealed
Well,
that
I
during.
saw his little baby,
Right.
at Sam's. So,
Oh well, yeah. Uh,
I don't know if he has another one from that lady, but,
Right, but
as
but
far
Jennifer,
as
Jennifer,
intelligence,
what were your thoughts on that whole discussion that they had concerning the broken black home, and their discussion concerning that?
let me tell you, I listened to this while I was selling drugs on my game
Okay.
last night, and I will have to say that K Michelle, um, her words were wonderful.
Mm,
The way that she expressed herself and the way that she did it, because we all know that his feet were being stumped on the whole time, but she did it in a way where it's like,
it was
"Yeah,
respect.
yeah, it wasn't disrespectful at all. It
Right,
was like, "Yes, I understand, but this is what you're doing."
right,
And she said it with passion, and it was wonderful. To be honest, I wasn't listening for him to say or do anything, because this will be the 17,000th time that he feel away because of what he knows that he's doing. And what's crazy is, like, you can't act like it's okay, but speak with your whole chest about what you're doing.
right,
And
and
the
stand up.
yeah, it's like, I I think I think the worst part is how bad he did the first mother,
Mm,
where the bulk of his children are.
yeah,
He never married her. He never, you know what I'm saying? She was just a
yeah,
girlfriend the whole time,
mm,
and then you move on to somebody else to pretty much do the same. Maybe it's because she's somebody that will let you do what you do. I don't know what kind of relationships that you need,
right,
but it's not for no reason that almost everybody that has a conscience that comes to your show sprays you with your own tea every single
right,
time,
right.
and you react to it because it hurts you, because you know he grew up with better.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like,
And he took it like a man. He really did take it like a man. At least in my opinion, he really didn't give her no lip back. In general, I
because
would
there's nothing
say.
that you can say.
Exactly.
There's nothing, and she was basically crying out to all men, including himself, because he's, another black man.
Hmm.
Because when she was talking about how, when she makes music in Nashville,
Hmm.
all the engineers and producers, they go home by 6, 7 o'clock at 7 o'clock at night, because they're going home to their family.
Right.
She could be out there to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning out in Atlanta, because there's no standard.
Right.
So I really enjoyed her talking points and what she was saying and the desires that she had. And for him to say, well, women got to take accountability as well. I'm not saying that there aren't any women that need to take accountability. I just want to make that clear.
Right.
But let's frickin' be for real. Women, a lot of women are coded to be wives.
Absolutely.
We will even stay with men that we don't want because they decided to make us their wife.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot of men take advantage of that and create broken homes with those thought processes, knowing that you didn't want to spend the rest of your life with this woman, but you created a life.
Yeah, by having a child with her. And also, it doesn't surprise me that he's saying this when he said last year, it's sad that men like him who are not playing in the NFL anymore don't have enough money to support their families. It's like, well, did you not voluntarily put
Whose fault
yourself
is effing
in
that?
this position, sir? Like, I like Cam Newton. I really do. I really do enjoy Cam Newton.
He's all right. I'm right here with him because it's like, but it's like I get it. You want to try to like give yourself a pass, I guess, for the things that you do or try to justify what you're doing and how you're moving. But it's still it will never look cute. It will never be cute.
Because at the end of the day, it's still wrong. Like in
Exactly.
society's eyes, maybe not in your eyes, but in society's eyes, at the end of the day, the people who are gonna talk about it like us, it still ain't right.
I can't say it's wrong, but I think the way that I would put it, it's just unfair to the childrens.
Much better said.
And in some situations, it's unfair to that woman that gave her all. And now she's by herself, and you wish you had more money to just keep her off your back. Moving forward and moving on. Miss Kim says, Cam Newton annoys me. He's not to look at, and that's all. Agreed.
Okay, Miss Kim.
She also says Jasmine is pregnant again.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's why that man can't say too much, nothing. Man. Wait, hold on. I'm clicking on everything. Bianca says, yes, Jonathan, he had a baby. He has a baby on the way. It's his 9th child.
9th.
And that's why when you see him hearing those conversations, hearing those words, it's like,
I'm surprised you even touching the subject, my brother. You got a lot of nerve.
I don't know, child. I think it's because he's looking for a way to justify it. Did you see him talking to Umar Johnson?
No, I didn't.
Dr. Umar?
No, hell no.
No, you might want to look at some of that because he wasn't lying because of what he's doing. He was talking about basically the same thing that Cam always talks about, the fractured families that he creates. He gathered him. Like
okay.
You might want to watch that one. I wouldn't watch the whole thing, but I don't tell nobody, but I find Umar really funny. He's hilarious. Do I take everything with a grain of salt? Absolutely.
You have to.
But he wasn't lying to that man.
Okay.
Mamera says, my jaw just dropped. I thought Jen just said when she showed drugs. Did she?
She's speaking about a game that she plays on her PC. If you'd like to elaborate, Jennifer, proceed.
It's a game called Schedule One. I'm basically just creating an empire of narcotics. I have all of the ganja, the methamphetamines, as well as cocaine, all kinds of strands. They're readily available. I would say, hit me up if you need something, but you're not inside of my game.
Yeah, you see, you can't just be throwing that out there without giving context, because some people will take your word for it. Nah, I mean, because
I know.
Not that you. I was about to tell myself just now. Anyways, I was thinking.
Miss Kim
Anyways.
says he's not going to marry Jasmine. Who you
Of
telling?
course not.
Jasmine know that. Anyway, Bianca says, Mamir, she's talking about a game that she played. LOL. And Bianca also says, Miss Kim, not at all. We all know she like I said, she knows she ain't getting she ain't getting married to that man. She's just enjoying her time at Costco. Excuse me, Sam's, being able to push the cart with the baby and have that tall man with him. Oh, anyway. Mamera says, Bianca, well, I'm relieved. At my age, one cannot trust our ears or eyes.
Okay.
Bianca says, I agree with him. As messed up as it is, we as women need to say the buck stops here with men like him. And
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't even trying to talk like that. He's trying to, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But it's true. It's true. We need not accept those things at all.
Right.
Um, because we've lowered our standards, unfortunately. Some have. She also says, I wouldn't let him touch you with the 10-foot pole with his actions and thought process. Would you give him a high five? Okay. Miss Tammy says this is Juneteenth, I'm going to go there. Through our history, the Black family has been broken up and sold off. Amen and amen.
Come on with the wisdom, Miss Tammy.
Miss Kim says Jasmine is over there playing wife like a fool. Yeah. FOOL. Having to live out here in Douglasville with us.
Okay.
How they do? There are some really nice houses out here. Don't get me wrong, but Miss Tammy also says yes. Women do have to take accountability for their part in these relationships. He's not totally responsible. Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
He's doing what he's allowed to get away with.
Yes.
But again, look at our history. They wanted our families broken. Amen.
People will only do to you what you allow them to.
Amen. Amen.
Anyways, in clout chasing news, Amanda Seales has questioned the support of former President Barack Obama, stating, please tell me, what did Obama do specifically for Black people? I hear this argument, from time to time, and it's almost as though people wanted Barack Obama to only act as though only Black people existed in America for his 8 years of being president of the United States, and to only specifically focus on us as if we were still and yet not the minority in America. Like there weren't millions of other people in the majority that were here in America that need help too. But it's like I have a feeling that she don't even believe what she's saying at this point, because it's I love Barack Obama. First of all, he's the first president I ever voted for. I was so excited to vote for him in 2007. I remember I was working at Target. One of my managers, my GSTL, I think Miss Betty, she was like, make sure you vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for, make sure you vote. And I was like, girl, I can't wait to vote. I'm going to vote. You act as though, Amanda Seales, that he completely forgot about us, like he ignored us, like he put us out to pasture and completely acted as though we did not exist. If he did that, do you know, if he only focused on the Black people, do you feel as though them white people would have voted for him again in 2012? I think not. No, I don't know if anyone's really paying attention to what Amanda Seales is saying at this point. There are so many YouTubers that have issues with her, and it's someone who used to be her assistant, C. Diggy One on YouTube, who's a good friend of Alexander Rogers, has not had too many good things to say about her. She's had this thing with Issa Rae. Issa Rae don't pay her no mind. Yes, used to be on Insecure, but you were no longer on Insecure after a certain amount of time for reasons that may not have been discussed. However, I don't know who's supporting Amanda in her plight to get some type of reaction, because President Barack Obama, and you know damn sure Michelle ain't got shit to say to nobody's Amanda Seales. So Girl, bye. We all love our forever president and first lady, Barack and
Child.
Michelle Obama. And I know Obama's just sitting. I'm sure Obama probably didn't even hear about this news. Obama probably don't even know
It wasn't even
what's
news.
what is being said. But Barack Obama is sitting back, maybe in Hawaii, sipping on a margarita, just thinking about the fact that he was the first Black president of the United States of America. Child, Jennifer, did you even hear that Amanda Seales said this? And what is your reaction to her ridiculous assumption or words concerning our first Black president?
Why aren't you talking about the current one?
Good question. Good question.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying that Barack Obama ain't nobody to be talking about. My point is, if you want to talk about somebody and go off of 40 days and 40 nights, let's talk about something current.
Because Barack Obama can't do nothing about the things he may not have done for the 8 years he was president. He can't do nothing now.
But the problem is, he did do things for the Black African American community.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest things I think personally was, well, first of all, we all need care as far as healthcare is concerned.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We all needed the care. Okay? That's number one, which is like, anyway, but he also helped to make sure about the what's it, the lynching things?
Hate laws.
Yes, the hate laws.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I love how one person said when he became the president of the United States, not the president of the Black African Americans.
Okay.
So he had to be the president over the whole country.
Everyone's.
Oh, child. Okay. Bianca says 100% Tammy. Miss Kim says a simple Google search or Chat GPT inquiry can easily answer Amanda's question. Barack Obama did a lot for Black people during his two-term presidency.
Absolutely.
Miss Tammy says Obama gave us a voice, hope, and decency, no scandals.
Absolutely, Miss Tammy. You said that.
Miss Kim says, I can't stand Amanda Seales. She's a loudmouth know-it-all. She enjoys being combative. Agreed. Because she knew that would get her some clicks. Her fussing the cousin about Barack Obama.
Of course.
Charlotte, I didn't even like her when she was on My Brother and Me.
Okay, because she was what? Annoying.
Being annoying. Okay.
Playing herself.
Because that wasn't a stretch.
No.
That was her. Okay. Ms. Robbins says, in my funky Dineva voice, move on to the next thing, Claudia.
Okay. Yes, I see Robin.
Ms. Robbins says, you've wasted too much time on that Amanda Seales chick. I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all we got for this show. We ain't got but two minutes left, honey, and I'm just gonna stop it right here. So Jennifer, go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick.
I was celebrating too much. Hold on, let me get myself together. Okay.
You wasn't ready.
I wasn't. I am the Lot of the Leo. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok. If you want me to bombard you with a bunch of TikToks, I'll be happy to do it if you want to. Because I share a lot. And also I'm on Instagram at The Lot of the Leo. And of course I have my YouTube channel at The Lot of the Leo so that you can follow me and stuff like that and look at me live every single Monday at 9 p.m. to decompress on Mondays. Please make sure to go ahead and see us at Faithful Warrior Ministries this Saturday at 10-ish a.m. We will be live praying and talking about how God can make our life better and stuff like that. You can go ahead.
Cool. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_Speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $JonathanLee07. That's $JonatanLee07. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this show. We love you guys for watching. Y'all are the best part of this show for us because we love the back and forth. We love the reciprocity that goes on our Hot Topics and social commentary shows. So thank Thank y'all so much. There will not be a JoJo Speaks without you guys, the viewers. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Until then, y'all have a safe weekend. Stay safe out there. Stay warm out there. Love y'all for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace out, y'all. Bye.
It ain't gonna be hard to stay warm, Jonathan.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah, because it is hot outside that door. Bye. Bye.